Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. There's Porter over here on Seaver Street, going down towards like Franklin Park, down that direction, right where Blue Hill and Columbia Road is at. Just want to give you an idea of how it looks on Seaver Street now. So apparently, the MBTA wants to put a center running bus lane. You see all these cars here. You know, we're approaching Elm Hill Ave right now. They want to put a center running bus lane, I believe, down to this section too. But more importantly, like, I think their main focus right now is doing it on Blue Hill Ave. So just keep in mind, this is 4:07 p.m. in the afternoon. Today is Tuesday afternoon. It was today, December the I believe it's December the 3rd. So let's see how much traffic we have today. And this is pretty much every day. You know, it doesn't vary from day to day. I think it's every day is the same amount of traffic. Everybody back in school, everybody working. This is the traffic. See if we can kind of switch over. So today is December the 3rd. Let me let that bus go by, then see if I can just get behind that bus right there. Now, we got buses that are from Boston Public Schools. We get buses from like out of town and different districts. So there's more than just Boston Public School buses coming through here. There's all kind of trucks, vans, you kind of name it. We pretty much got it. So theoretically, what they're trying to do is they want to turn this to pretty much one lane each way. I really can't see them getting two lanes out of it if they're going to put a center running bus lane in the middle. So it looks like they're going to just put one lane inbound, one lane outbound. So you can see the volume of cars that we have now, and this is what you call 3 lanes of traffic right here. So when you get to Columbia Road and Blue Hill Ave, that's like one of the major intersections, because Columbia Road is like it's a main road everybody takes. Blue Hill Ave just the same way. So let's see how much I'm gonna get in the middle lane here, and you kind of get the idea of the volume of traffic that you would see up here. Now I know they're having another meeting. I believe it's December the 12th. It's really hard to find out where these meetings are. They don't post them. They don't tell people about it. I might call 311 and see if they know anything about it. They probably don't. I might try to call the MBTA and see if they know anything about it. But you got to be very careful who you put in office and what they do in office, because what I understand that Russell Holmes, I guess he's like a state senator. Like, if you ever see the guy, you know, I don't know, he doesn't do anything to what I see. He just meddles around and acts like he knows something, but he doesn't do anything. But he doesn't meet with the people that I know of. Like, anybody meets with him, let me know. If you have a meeting with him and he's telling you what he's doing, I want to go to one of those meetings and see what he's talking about. But he's always, so him and Ayanna Presley are pushing this agenda. So they're the 2 people in Massachusetts that I know of, that I heard of, that are pushing this agenda, and they're pushing it like they got money coming to them in their pocket. So Ayanna Presley and Russell Holmes is pushing for this center running bus lane down Blue Hill Ave. Now, it's the source that told me this they're pretty credible. I don't think they're going to make this up. I'm going to have to do my research to make sure. But from what I heard, and the information I heard, it's Ayanna Presley and Russell Holmes that's pushing this. They want to push this. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what they think. If I see either one of them, I'll ask them. Because they're public officials, they should be able to answer that question. Now, If I so happen to see them, I'm going to try to record it. If they dodge the question, then I already know the answer. So, it's either one or the other. Like, you can't run from the press. If you're running from the press, then you're running from the people, and that's not good. So, next time I see Ayanna Presley, if she ever makes her face known, or if I ever go to a function when I see her, I'm gonna ask her, is she pushing for this center running bus lane? And the question is going to be why. And then my other question is, have you talking to any of these merchants along Blue Hill Ave? There's a lot of people that have businesses along Blue Hill Ave that are not really for it. There's a lot of residents that are not really for it. And the meeting I've been to, the T had no answers. Literally no answers. As you guys know, Blue Hill Ave it's a major, it's not an interstate. What is that? Maybe it is an interstate, but it's Route 28. I mean, it goes from the Blue Hills all the way through. I think it turns on Seaver and goes straight down Seaver. So that's a major route, and it is a truck route too. Trucks do take that route. Matter of fact, I brought this up to the people that was at the MBTA meeting. I said, when it's 2-3 o'clock in the morning, when they're bringing these big overweight freight through the city, which way are they gonna go? Because sometimes they're bringing heavy equipment that's wider than the average lane. You probably seen these trucks 3-4 o'clock in the morning. They're bringing in AC units. They're bringing in boats. They might be bringing in a train for the T, a heavy crane equipment. There's all kinds of stuff they bring through, and the state police is usually escorting them through. If you're ever up that late, you definitely will see it. It's not often, but you catch it every once in a while. I think I caught a couple of videos of it myself. I said, what do they do with that? And they said they were unaware of that. I said, well, you didn't do any planning and thinking if you wasn't aware of that. So if this is 2 lanes here, in order for them to run the bus lane, it's going to have to be 1 lane. And I asked them this question about parking. They said that they're going to retain 90% of parking. So wait a minute, you're telling me you're going to get rid of parking some places because you're only going to retain 90% of parking? That means you're not keeping 100% parking. So that's a problem, because some of these residents are going to lose parking spaces, which is not good. So you guys, I encourage you guys to find, if you guys live on Blue Hill Ave, or if you don't live on Blue Hill Ave and you're concerned about your community, go to the next meeting that they have and voice your concerns. They do have a website that you can go on too and voice your concerns. I have to find it. But there's a lot of stuff going on in our community that we're not even aware of. Like, I went to a meeting and one of my subscribers told me about this one. They plan on doing something with Alma Lewis in the park. They want to totally recreate it. And they really don't care about the people's input. So my thing is, who is the driving force behind it? That's the question. Who is the driving force? Well, they said there's some investors and all that kind of stuff. But they also said that a lot of people at the meeting said they want to keep the park public. They emphasize, we want to keep the park public. We don't want it to become a private park. And they also said they wanted to represent what Alma Lewis stood for. That's another key thing they wanted. They wanted to be community based. There's things like that they were saying in the meeting. And the people that were facilitating the meeting really didn't have any answers. It's like they didn't think this thing through. And they didn't think that there was going to be thinkers in the crowd that's going to bring this up to them. Another gentleman, he gave me his number, he brought up, is it going to be ADA compliant? And, they said yes, but they didn't say to what extent. Because he said he's legally blind and he wants it to be ADA compliant. And he pointed out some other things to me in the city that's not ADA compliant. I did promise him to contact him. I just gotta find the time to call him, because he did give me his number, so I do gotta call him. I did make that promise. So, there's a lot of stuff going on in our community that we're not aware of. So apparently what they're gonna do, obviously they're gonna get rid of all these trees if they're gonna put a bus lane here. They're gonna reposition the light light poles and probably put them on other places. And this is the thing I asked them too about this bus lane. I asked them what was the price tag on it, and they said they didn't have an answer. I said, you gotta have an answer. Oh, we didn't figure that out yet. I said, wait a minute, you put a design in motion, you put it on paper, but you don't have a price tag on it, which sounds like a bunch of bullcrap. Like, you know what the other one cost you. And they said I'm serious. I wish that video came out a lot. That somehow got messed up. I wish I had the audio in there a lot better. But they said that they was unaware of the price tag on the one on Columbus Ave. I said, how could you not know that? Like, I don't care who you are. That's just public knowledge. From what I understand, it cost $60 million. And no one denied that number, so I assume that is I think it's a little over 60 million, because there was a lot of things they had to do over. But so that little stretch from Walnut Ave that goes all the way down to where it stops at about Center Street, just before Jackson right there, if that stretch costs 60 million, this stretch is going to cost 3 times that amount, and maybe more. So that's just basic logic. I mean, you're not going to tell me you could do it cheaper. And if you could do it cheaper, then we got ripped off on the other one. So, I mean, who are you fooling? You're not fooling anybody. So, those are things we got to keep in mind. People that sit in front of your face and act like they don't have the answer. Now, if you have the answer, just give us the answer. Now, if you don't want to give us the answer, that's a different story. But don't look at us like you don't have no idea. So they brought the wrong people to the meeting, because we didn't have the people we needed to speak to. We had people who were representing those people. So when you go to these meetings, you want to speak to the designers. And I asked them, who were the designers? They couldn't tell me. I said, did any of the designers live in the city of Boston? They point out one guy that maybe moved into Jamaica Plain in the last couple of years. I said, that's not living in the city of Boston. I said, you got to be here a period of time and see how it grew from one point to another point. I said, do you ride the T? He said he rides it so often. I said, well, that really don't count, because you got to be a T rider to really have input on this too. But you also got to be a person who driven through the city, either by car or bike or both, or even walk through the city, because you got to be able to see how the city operates. You can't just come here for one day and say, okay, I've seen how the city operates. So right now we're approaching Morton Street. Traffic is kind of moderate, not too bad. I mean, it's probably typical for 4 p.m. Sometimes it could be worse than this. We're just gonna see how long. It's about 6:19 right now. We've been riding for about 13 plus minutes, something like that. So we're gonna make a ride down all the way down to what's that, Mattapan Square, because I guess that's where the center running bus line is gonna go. It's gonna go allegedly from Seaver Street down to Mattapan Square. Now, very, very, very important. I asked, I wish I don't even know that lady's name now. I could start getting names and writing them down. There's one lady I was talking. I said, are they going to synchronize the traffic lights? And she said she didn't know. I said, wait a minute. So you got this design. You're going to put all this in place, but you're not going to synchronize the traffic lights? So I said, how about you synchronize the traffic lights first and see how that works out for a couple of years, and then you wouldn't have to do the bus lane. Because if the city of Boston could ever, which they probably will never in my lifetime, get the traffic lights to synchronize properly, what they call that, a green wave. So a green wave mean if I'm going the speed limit, by the time I get to the next intersection, it's like a bank of cars that's going down the roadway. And theoretically, if we're all going between 20 to 25 miles an hour, by the time we get to the next light, it turns green, and so forth and so forth and so forth. So it moves that whole wave of cars. I'll let this guy go through because he's doing, I don't know what he's doing there. So that will move the cars a lot quicker. But also you got to try to figure out where all these cars are trying to go to. So the object of the game is to move whatever traffic you see, to move through the city as quick as possible. Most of them are going straight to 138. Like most of these cars that we see in this bank of cars right here are probably all going to go straight. You might get a few that may turn off left, turn off right, but the majority of these cars are all going to go straight, all the way down to like Milton, Hocus Pond, Canton, you know, going that direction. They're all going to keep going that direction. And they did have these car counters. They put these little things on the ground where they count how many cars going through. But that's only telling you how many cars passed away. That's really not telling you a lot of anything else. Now, I don't know if you guys can see on camera. I'm gonna have to call these people back because that's gonna interrupt my video. See, now you can't see what I see. Maybe you could if I turn the car like this. Hold on, let me try this and see what happens. Can you see all those cars that are, yeah, there you go. All those cars that are all that, those are all brake lights going down the street. So you can kind of see all those cars going all the way down Blue Hill. Bring that back right there. So I didn't want to take it and move it around because then it'd be shaking all over the place. So there's a bunch of cars that's going straight down. Now right now we do have green lights, but the volume of cars is so thick they can't make it to that green light to the next green light. Like, I don't know if you can see what I see, but there's green lights down the road. There's like a set of green lights here. It's another set of green lights, but the very end is a red light all the way at the very end. So you got movement. And it doesn't help with these cars sticking out in the street like this too. That's another problem. This garage right here, there's always cars double and triple parked over here. And I don't know why the city doesn't do anything about it. I mean, they should start finding them, the owners, and say, hey, if you got vehicles blocking the street, we're gonna start finding you, or just shut you down completely. I mean, nobody's exempt from the law, and they've been doing it for years. So, I mean, and the other issue is right where the I think it's called the, what is that called up there at Talbot and Blue? Is that Sun's Pizza? I think it is. Right there, there's a lot of cars that park at that intersection too. So when you get to center on the bus lane, how are you going to control those cars from double and triple parking in the street if you can't control them now? I mean, that's something you got to think about. I mean, Boston police only can do so much. I've seen them out there several times giving tickets, but that does not stop them from coming back and do it again once they leave. And they do it right down by Grove Hall a lot too. If you go by Grove Hall, right where the laundromat is and the liquor store is, there's cars double parked. By the post office, there's cars parked in the area where they shouldn't park. There's a lot of that going on. There's signs that say no parking, but people, they do it anyway. So you guys, you know, voice your concerns. Tell the T that, you know, if you think a center run and bus lane is going to be good for our community. So the other question is too, why only here? Why don't you do that in well, they can't do it on Mass Ave. I found out that Cambridge doesn't want it, and two, Mass DOT told them you cannot put it on Mass Ave because Mass Ave is a truck route. Now, if Mass Ave is a truck route, Blue Hill Ave should be a truck route. So I gotta call the DOT and find out if that's true, because if that is true, no, DOT would know. Yeah. So if Mass Ave is a truck route, then why Blue Hill Ave wouldn't? Because Mass Ave is not as far as I know, it's not like an interstate or anything. It's just Mass Ave. I don't think it's like a 28 over Route 9. Like, they won't put a bus lane up Route 9. Like, why don't they try that? Put a bus lane up Route 9. How about they start over there and see how that works? I can guarantee you that the people in Newton and Wellesley would say no, and they'll shoot it down so quick. But because you're in the minority community, they figure we can get a couple of Uncle Toms. I'm gonna say it, Uncle Toms, to represent other black people, and it's okay. So the people that say they represent you and they don't, those are the like we call the slave masters, and those are the there's a name for these people. They're like the house Negro. We'll call them the house Negro. So the house Negro like to tell the other Negroes what to do, and the house Negro is working under the slave master's command. And if you ever study Willie Lynch did a hell of a job on black people, because the perpetual motion is still in effect up until this regular day, this very day, I should say. Willie Lynch had taught slave owners how to have a perfect slave. And he said, if you practice this for 3 years, you have a perfect slave for 300 years. And all he did was put your differences and make them bigger and put them against each other. So he put the young against, you probably heard about it, young against the old, light against the dark, the male against the female. You know, any trick that he could use, he used it. The intelligence, the looks, the hair, the color, he used it all. He pulled his whole bag of tricks out and he used them. See, my phone rings, and a lot of these people. Yeah, I'll call you back in a few. All right. 104 Ocean Avenue. I gotta start shutting this thing off. So Willie Lynch, if you never heard of Willie Lynch, I'm pretty sure you can find it online. You can find it, look up the Willie Lynch Manifesto. I don't know much else to say about it, but he was a slave owner, and he taught his slave owners that how to master a perfect slave and have them keep under your control. Even without their presence, you'd still be in their control. So look at this area here. We're just approaching Mattapan Square now. To my right, there's stores. There's some parking, there's angle parking over here, which is okay. But sometimes you see these cars that will park, like block these cars in. You don't see it too many even now. There's a truck that I just passed by. I don't think if it caught on camera or not. There was a truck that was over there, just was parked kind of the long way. I don't know what these people are doing. So I gotta find out this next meeting. I think it's December the 12th. I want to say it's December the 12th. It's supposed to be somewhere down in Mattapan. I don't know where. As soon as I find out, I'll try to post it on, I'll do like a YouTube short or something, depending on how I know about it. If I see a flyer, I do a video about it, saying, public meeting on the MBTA, this time, this location, whatever the case may be. Let me just switch out of this lane and move over to this lane. Because these cars over here, they're going to kind of bottleneck up in there. But we pretty much made it down to Mattapan Square. Not too bad. We did it in about, let's see, we did it about 24, 25 seconds. Somewhere around there. No, not seconds, minutes. No, correct myself. If we did it in 25 seconds, we're doing real good. 25 minutes. One little detail could change a whole narrative. So we're down here. So I assume that Center Run and Busting is going to stop here, because I don't think the town of Milton is going to allow them to put bus lanes down their roadway. And they got so much pushback from Milton. They're supposed to build so many public housing accessible to the MBTA, and they haven't done it. So the town of Milton is fighting them on that as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on in Milton that we don't even know about. But right now we're down here at Blue Hill and River Street. This is where we are. And so I just want to do this video so you guys can kind of see what I see and voice your concerns. If you know about that meeting, go check it out. Voice your concerns. I'm gonna cut this video short. I did accomplish my drive. I was only supposed to drive down here and drive back. I might do a video going back, but you know, doesn't. I might. We'll see what happens. But catch you guys on the next one. Be safe out there. And that's about it.